Hey, what is up everybody, Blades4 here, and today I have for you guys another video of Persona 5X. Inside today's video, guys, we're going to be starting off the new series called Compendium. Now, this series is going to be pretty much me explaining certain personas on certain different days and how exactly to build them. This is going to probably range from either middle game going all the way to end game here. And the main reasoning for that is because those are going to be the ones that you really want to build a lot and actually utilize for things of this nature. So, as many of us have already done multiple times, we've been in the Velvet Room for hours on hours and ends in the actual game. So of course, why not do it inside of these P5X? And I'm gonna be showing you exactly how to build every last one of these busted personas. But first one coming up, of course, is the Crit Master itself, and that is going to be Dionysus. Now, Dionysus is one of the few personas that are heavily used if you're doing guild bosses, you're doing any type of SOS and things like that. If you want your main DPS to deal some damage, heck, if you want a sub DPS to deal some damage, this is the one you want to go to. It pretty much has it all. You're going to be sticking a ton of different just like speed stats on this to make sure you're having Wonder go first and making sure the whole setup goes perfect. You're going to be having a ton of buffs on here, and if you really want to get a little bit spicy, have a little bit of heals and a little bit of a debuff on this persona as well. So we're going to divide this video up into a few ways. The first way, of course, was just the overview of how this persona is, which I just already went over this. We already know they're a crit rate master and things of that nature. Now we're going to go exactly into detail of why and how it's like this, and then of course, what moves do you want to inherit or put on there? What are your options? And all in all, how good is the persona? So let's go ahead and dive straight into it. All right, so Dionysus, as we already went over the overview, is absolutely amazing. This persona is easily farmable, or at least can be farmed. I wouldn't say easily, to be honest, but can be farmed by just getting to level 70, if I'm correct here, and doing the mission. Now, the only issue about this, of course, is it does have a pity here, so you do need to go 8 times in order to get it dropped. But seeing it's a level 71 and it's fairly farmable, you could get some nice coins out of this in general, while also going ahead and trying to get the juice for Dionysus itself. Good part is it's not a rainbow persona as well, so I mean, like, the drop chances are a little bit easier if you want to put it that way, and so this persona is fairly easy to get. It proves itself worthy in many freaking ways. I think we mentioned a couple of release modes earlier, but it really helps out your DPSs and helps out Wonder to the best of its capabilities. So let's go ahead and look at his moves. When you first get Dionysus and you get him up to 80, of course, you're going to unlock only these 4, which Agile Insight is not going to be involved. These are going to be the only 4 that you're going to have, and one of the most important, at least important ones that you want to look at is going to be Revolution. Main reason for this, because Revolution increases all allies crit rate, which is the whole point of this whole build. Seeing that this persona is a crit rate monster, the more crit rate you have on Wonder, the better the whole buff is going to be for everybody involved. So how exactly would we really build this character? Would we get rid of any of these inside of at least its kit? I'm gonna straight up tell you right now, every last one of these resist select, hit rate boost, side boost, and Psycho Blast are all going to be gone. You're not going to be using any of these guys. In fact, we're going to be wiping their slate clean, or at least the slate clean. I just utterly just swapped my words so hard. But we're going to be just wiping that whole slate clean here. And you want to use Agile Insight being your main one. This is going to be an important skill that you guys are going to need to utilize, mainly just because you need Wonder to go first. This persona does rely on Wonder a heck ton, so you really want to make sure you're going first with this persona. The second one that you want to go ahead and have is called Rebellion, which is available off of Dakini, which is another persona that you're able to get. This one is a little bit easier compared to at least Dionysus itself. You can actually craft this guy and you can exchange it as well. If I'm right, actually it drops as well too. Yes. You can actually get this one drop, but this one's actually kind of early. Seeing that we haven't done it before, it actually gave me 2 of these immediately, so I can also just recruit this guy pretty easily. But what you want to do, get Dakini, and once you do have them, you want to go ahead and try to at least get the best move that you can get, which on here, if we can click it, there we go, which on here is going to be Agile Insight and Rebellion. This is going to be the one that you kind of want to use to get both Speedmaster and Rebellion no matter what. It's going to help you out quite a lot, and this is going to really set up Dionysus to be really helpful. So Rebellion, as we had with the other buffs, increases the crit rate of one ally instead of multiple, meaning the crit rate buff is going to be even higher. Now this is going to be by 9.3% plus a 1.6% for every 10% that Wonder has in crit rate, and this is a huge deal. Because if you even have 1.4% crit rate on a Navigator, you're actually able to hit the 40% crit rate that Wonder does need, meaning you get that multiplied by an extra 2, which is an insane amount. Now, for some of you guys who don't know exactly how this is possible, be sure to max out your Wonder's crit rate. He does have a base crit rate of 20%. If you actually get up your stats, this is going to come into handy, especially when you are utilizing this. Not to mention, try to use the support weapon, because this is also going to help you out in just healing standpoint. So if you do have a healing move on Dionysus or anything like that, you're going to be able to heal, not die too much. And then of course, you're boosting up the at least defense of everybody who is on your team. Seeing Wonder's always going to be here at all times. You're going to want that defense boost, especially seeing you are now a glass cannon build. You're going to need it big time for any of your DPSs. But that's just those two moves. What other moves are useful on Dionysus, and exactly why? Well, I have a couple clips for you guys in which those are going to be different things. You guys can pick as you want. I'll have timestamps as well. And then at the end of the video, we'll talk about exactly how you want to set up the skills, or at least how you want to use these set skills and turn value, and then go ahead and end it off. But let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so first up is going to be Hecatone Kairos. Hecatone Kairos is of course gainable throughout just doing regular old dungeons here. So let's quickly just level them up so you guys can actually see exactly where you get them from. But we click this real quick and click the coin. You can actually farm this guy up pretty easily at level 50. Now he's a guaranteed drop, there is no pity going for him, so it's pretty easy to get this guy up. And of course, if you do need his dupes, which there shouldn't really be a reason that you're duping him, but of course, if you want to go ahead and get his dupes, you very well can. Now, with this character, the reason why you want to build him is because he comes with just the automatic damage of resist damage. This is what we need in order to at least take a little bit of that damage, which reduces the damage that we end up getting hit by 8.7%. This is a optimal pick, of course, if you want to go ahead and go for him. So do think about it. Let's go to the next one. Next pick on the list is Ose. Now Ose is another one that is actually gained pretty early, pretty easy to get this guy up here. Just like Hecatone Kairos, he's really easy to go ahead and get, but this one instead you actually have to form him. So you're gonna need at least White Knight and Hecatone Kairos himself in order to make Ose, which does take a little bit, but these are all easier personas to actually build him. So it shouldn't be all too hard to get this guy up. Now, if you are wondering why you're getting Ose up, of course, this is going to be for the special little skill that he comes with, which if I can go ahead and find him, there he is. Special little skill that he gets, and that is going to be the life boost. Life boost is really going to be helpful because in case, as I did say before, we are a glass cannon. So increasing your max HP is actually going to be really, really helpful. And seeing that he gives you life boost 3 pretty easily, that is an increase of HP by 10.8%. Alright, so the next persona is going to be Barong. Now Barong is mainly going to be here if you are looking to have more of a longer battle, or you feel like you're going to run out of SP. And that's because what Invigorate does, or the SP Recovery 3 does, is exactly as the name implies. You recover SP for a certain amount of turns here, and this is increased by 5.7%. Now he's not really a hard persona to get. You actually can get him at level 60 instead of actually having to be like ultra high, but the only downside is he does have a guaranteed pity. Although he is only a rank 6 type persona, which does make him a little bit easier to get, this pity is going to be needed because you only are guaranteed 1, or at least guaranteed 1 after 2 whole times of doing this. So it can be a little bit of annoying, especially if you are trying to farm for the SP Recovery 3, but all in all, this is still a good skill. Next persona that we're going to be looking at is Leonard Said, which is another persona that is really early to actually get. As you can see, the max level is only 35. This one itself, you can't really farm it like the other ones, but you can create it. To craft it, it really isn't too hard to go ahead and do. It's actually really easy to craft this one. It does have a couple steps, I think about 2 to 3, but it is really easy to actually craft. Now, the main reason that we are going to be using this one is because of Rakunda. Rakunda increases one whole enemy by 36.9% of their defense for 3 whole turns. This is if you really want to use Dionysus as more of a straight up DPS setup, in which will have you with your buffs while also being able to deal a debuff on the enemy. So pretty darn decent. Another good little skill that you guys can go for in really early game. So this is a really good one that you guys can go for. Lastly, we have Koomokuten, which is another persona that some of us utterly hate and despise in this game currently. And he is one of the few that you guys want to go ahead and get up. Now, you can exchange this one out as well. So let's quickly just level him up real fast. But you can exchange this guy out. He's pretty early on, or at least exchange things for him, in which does take you having to do a couple of mixing, such as like these 2 seals. These seals are able to be gotten once you are level 50. So I mean, like, it's perfectly fine to try and get this guy. He is going to be a little bit more expensive compared to the other ones, but the main reason that we want to actually have this guy is because he has Regen level 3. Regen level 3 is going to come in handy in multiple ways. So I mean, like, if you guys really do want to try and get Regen level 3, it's really nice, because then of course you're at least healing at the start of each turn. This is all in order of what you really want to do. Seeing we are somewhat of a glass cannon in general, I might end up going with this one, at least for my final build, because I don't like Wonder being too low on at least HP. So if he gets low, I want to make sure he gets healed. But all in all, this is another good pick. All right, so now that we've went over the picks and things like that for Dionysus here, one of the things I must tell you guys all to do is to pay attention on how you're going to utilize his skills. As I said earlier, the most important ones are going to be Rebellion and Speedmaster. The rest of those are going to be up to your choice, but how to utilize them is going to be a little bit different. So the main reason that we have Speedmaster in general on Dionysus is mainly just because we need Wonder to go first to end up setting this up the correct way. So first turn, no matter what, how you're going to do it, doesn't matter how or how you pull it off, you need to, no matter what, deal Rebellion. Now, Rebellion, as we did go over at least in the earlier side of this thing, this will help out your crit rate. This is going to be your main go-to, especially if you're trying to set up your DPS, and that is what you need. Rebellion here is mainly going to be buffing that one unit, give you the most crit rate that you ever will need, and once again going for Wonder off of his crit rate. Now, we already know with Wonder, he gets a huge buff of just 20% crit rate if you already have that upped. And of course, if you do have your Navigator with at least around 1.4% crit rate, you're able to hit the 40% crit rate mark once you do all of your buffs with said Wonder. Now, alongside of this here, since we've already set up the Rebellion with Dionysus, you did want to immediately use Revolution on turn 2. Revolution is going to be the one that of course buffs everybody on the field, meaning you're double buffing your main character, which does stack here as well. And this increases all allies crit rate by 6.5% plus the 1.1% for every 10% crit rate Wonder has. This is going to last for 3 turns. So immediately once this is done, go in as far as possible. Now, if we're talking about what you really would use this, you would try to switch to another persona that gives you another damage buff on turn 3. So now at this point of time, everything's set up perfectly. Then you go back to Dionysus, do Rebellion one last time to get that extra buff on that one character, and then deal the most damage you can deal. It's going to be the nuke side of this, and it's going to be so helpful if you're facing at least a guild boss. But that's how that's going to really work out for you guys. Without a doubt, this persona is really useful, and it's really good that you're able to at least get this thing off of just farming instead of continuously having to farm then make it yourself. This is going to be really helpful for a lot of you guys. So without further ado, you guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, let me know down below in the comment section. Let me know how you guys feel about how I'm actually organizing this a little bit. It's fairly interesting. I want to next time do a little bit of gameplay showing the persona in action, I just have to get a couple more personas built up to actually start doing that for a lot of these showcases. So give me about 5 to 10 videos in and we'll start doing some stuff like that. But till then, everybody, stay safe, stay sharp, and stay determined. Peace out.